welcome once again to episode 2 of Destined to Remember. I am Anthony Kriswitz from the Touring Fan Live, and I am so pleased to once again have with me Dave from Live Footsteps. Wait, nope, I had it right. Dave from Live Footsteps and Randy from Live on Four Legs podcast, where tonight we're going to be settling down to break down Ohana. Before we start getting into that, let me get the guys to talk a little bit about themselves, and we'll start off with Randy.
What's up, everybody, from Live on Four Legs, the definitive live Pearl Jam podcast, or some kind of thing like that, whatever I say. But yeah, I'm excited. I think the first one was really good, and it got a lot of good reviews last week. So I hope you enjoy this one too. There's a lot of good things to talk about. I'm not going to sit here and talk about myself. I want to talk about this stuff. So I'm going to push it over to Dave.
Hey, I'm Dave from livefootsteps.org. Check us out. You got all the numbers, the stats, the set lists. Drop me a line if you're looking for something. I want to hear from you guys. That's about it, guys.
Sounds good. And on that,
back to you, Anthony.
And on that, we end music. All right. So we had the second show Pearl Jam did. Shannon says hello, Shannon. Second show from Encore. Well, second show, which was Ohana this past weekend, of Pearl Jam playing for the first time in 3 years. And we're going to actually have a guest come on here in a little bit that was at the show. Nick Dulles is going to be coming on at 9:15. And I'm pretty excited about talking to him, and because he was at both See Her Now Festival and at Ohana, so it'll be interesting to see his take on both. But this evening, we're going to be doing this. We're going to be running down the set list rundown. Randy's going to be breaking that down in a minute. In the Pit with Nick Dulles. We're going to be talking about the opener, the encore. We're going to be talking about Almost Made It, songs that were cut off the set list. We're going to be talking about Gigaton. We're going to be talking about Rare Gems. We're going to be talking about merch. And yes, towels and rugs will be mentioned. And we'll be making some extremely bold predictions when it comes to Ohana Encore this upcoming weekend. And then we'll close it all up. So I am excited about this. So let me hand off this now to Randy as he breaks down the set list.
All right, guys. And remember, if you want to share your favorite moment from this show, do it in the comment section. Share what you liked from this show, what performances were the best, and we'll pop it on the screen. And same with what you're looking forward to for Ohana Encore. Whatever you're looking forward to there, we'll pop it on the screen for later, and we'll really build up the bold predictions. But here is the set list, the second set list in the last 3 years. We open up the show. Last time we opened up the show with a live debut, Dance of Clairvoyance. We're trying retrograde this time. That's how we opened up the show. And then we go into the next 4 songs that were exactly like See Here Now. Dance of Clairvoyance, Quick Escape, 7 O'Clock, and Corduroy. Then we get, one of my favorites from this set list, the live debut of All Right. Daughter comes back, and that has the same WMA tag that we got at See Here Now. Red Mosquito with Danny Clinch. Again, very good. We'll talk a little bit about that. Super Blood Wolf Moon right in the middle there. I Got Shit, a very nice little surprise in the middle of this set. Then the Even Flow Spot. Immortality. Who doesn't love a show with Immortality? Given a Fly, Do the Evolution, Better Man with Brandi Carlile. All very good stuff to end your set right there. And then you get a little bit into your encore. Here's a surprise. Let Me Sleep. It's almost Halloween. Where did that come from? I was expecting like a River Cross or, even an Off He Goes, a Nothing As It Seems, something like that. No, he's busting out Let Me Sleep. Oh, okay, whatever works. For people there, it's probably the only time they'll ever see it. It's the 8th time ever played. Sorry, I stole Dave's thunder with that. But then we get a tremendous rendition of Black that feels like it lasts forever. Crazy Mary, where nobody's passing a bottle because that's not what you do in COVID times. And then Alive with a lot of special guests on that, including Andrew Watt, who is the producer for Ed's solo record coming out. I don't even know when it's coming out, but it's coming out soon enough. Because there was a lot of promotion about that this past weekend, talking about the Earthlings and Jack Klinghoffer and Josh Klinghoffer. I'm sorry, I got Jack Irons in my brain right now. Chad Smith, all the guys that are intertwined in that band. I believe Pino from Nine Inch Nails is in that band. So a lot of cool things. We can even get to that a little bit at some point too. But there you have it: 19 songs, 15 in the main set, and 4 in the encore.
Well, interesting story coming through about Let Me Sleep, and I didn't know this. Shannon Majoey says Let Me Sleep was for the homeless Vetersor in Venice, California, when he did the vaccination concert.
I think that live stream must have cut out at that point, and I didn't hear that. I thought he was talking about something homeless, but I had no idea what the context was. But very cool.
So let me pose this question to you both. We saw the first set list with See Here Now, and we know what we were getting. Like we after we saw it, we were there for it, we enjoyed it. Lining up for this show for Ohana, is this what you expected it to be, or are you surprised? I'm gonna go to Dave first on that question.
I wasn't very surprised. They want to get these new songs out there. They came right out of the gate and played 4 of them, and like it has been quite a while since they've done that. So but they do that a lot whenever there's a new album. They even come right out of the gate and start playing all the new songs. So I'm not surprised that they want to do that. I mean, how many were like 8 of them that were on the set list for See Here Now, and they cut a couple of them. So they're going out there.
Yeah,
now.
Originally 8. Yep. Yeah, Retrograde and Revercross both cut.
So Randy, were you surprised about this set list when you saw it?
No, not really. I knew that we were going to get all the Gigaton early. I was a little surprised that Retrograde opened up the show. I figured that every show was going to open up the same way, with either Dance of the Clairvoyants going, and they went in the same progression going into Quick Escape, then going into 7 o'clock. But I thought maybe they'd mix it up and put in a Super Blood or whoever said. But no, they kept that formula, which is very interesting. It'll be interesting to see what direction they take through the encore shows. But I think there was a lot of the same things, and for a band that hasn't played in 3 years, that hasn't rehearsed a whole lot, that's okay. The WMA tag off of Daughter, like that, I would have liked to see another song, even another hit, like Jeremy wasn't played either show, songs like that I know that they know. I think that there was a little bit too much similarity between the two shows.
I do agree with you on that one. There was a tremendous amount of similarities, but let me pull that set list up back one more time. And if you look at it, Dance of Clairvoyance played at both shows. Quick Escape played at both shows. 7 o'clock, Corduroy.
Same order, yeah.
Daughter. Red Mosquito.
Red Mosquito with Danny Clinch.
Yep.
That's going on 3 in a row right there. We can talk about that later.
And Super Blood Wolf Moon and Even Flow.
Given Fly play.
And then let's see live. So I mean, that's 11 of the exact same songs as the last show, if I'm counting correctly.
But also they added in, I like for the encore, they added in some of those that are the staple encore songs like Black and Crazy Mary that we didn't get at the last show. The last show felt like you kind of wanted a little bit more. They did the Bruce cover, which was really good and really nice, and we kind of all knew that was coming. But usually those encores are chock filled with songs like Black, Crazy Mary, go down the line. Any of those, like even though Better Man was played in the main set, something like that is usually played. River Mirror or something along those lines. But it was very, time constraints are the issue at hand here, and that's what they were dealing with. So you get a little bit shorter and a little bit tighter, but good to see that. And I would like to see for the next shows them kind of continue to change it up a little bit, get some of at least one performance of all of the standard songs in there from the 4 shows.
Hearing from some people online as things are heating up in the chat room, Brian Blackwell says, warm up in D. Ha. I like retro being an alternative to Long Road or Release. Okay, I'll take that. And then Shannon Majoey says, Super Blood does not work live. They haven't found the right tempo yet. See, I would just...
She's not wrong.
I enjoyed it at See Her Now Festival. It was cool with the moon behind me, and, I enjoyed it. It was, but, it's kind of like there's... What was the My Father's Son? Like, that was a weird song when they played that. That never seemed to just... Yeah. They never seemed to get the timing right when they played that. So maybe...
No, that never gelled.
But hey, listen, guys. We have with us our special guest. We're going to get him up on the screen right now. And we have Nick Dolis, otherwise known as a good dude, who was at both See Here Now Fest at Ohana, and he is going to give us his story.
Looks like he's never left.
No.
No, I'm still here.
You staying for encore?
No, I wish. We're down in Carlsbad, Linda and I, just hanging out. We usually have a couple days after the festival to recover and kind of do a little chill time and walk around, enjoy the beach, get some good food, and get ready to get back to work.
Work, the W word we don't ever want to talk about. But anyway, listen,
Yeah.
Nick, first of all, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. You know, you might be the only person I know personally that did rail for both See Here Now Festival and Ohana. So
I got a couple friends that did both, so. But yeah, I know what you mean.
you're more listen, Nick, you're more popular than I am, all right? So I don't have
I'm just being a little bit more crazier about this stuff than some people, I guess.
Oh, well, listen, I to each their own, it's all good. Let me ask you this first question. Thinking of See Here Now Fest or Ohana, thinking about crowds and set lists altogether, which show are you walking away with the most happy with?
I mean, I'm just going to call it a draw because it's hard having the first show back after a couple years and being like, how could you be let down with that? And then a week later, they're in California on a beach again. I mean, did they play a couple songs over again? Yeah, but it's just like, it's a different energy on that side of the country. It's a different vibe. It's a different environment, but they're both, I mean, it was both amazing. I mean, just the time and hearing the music again was so cool, and seeing all the friends. I mean, that's what really made it for both of us, from Lynn and I, seeing everybody. I mean, the music's great, but it's the people. I mean, it's the people that really kind of make things even more important. So that's kind of how I look at it. The time in the line, sharing stories, is bullshitting. Sorry if I get flagged for that one.
No,
But just all the stuff you get to like have fun with, and just, you know, hug everybody you haven't seen in forever, and just sit together and chat and bounce around, and that's what it's all about.
No,
And music kind of takes a back seat once in a while to that stuff, I guess.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. I'm going to ask one more question. I'm going to ask some questions, but I want to go back and forth and let Dave and Randy ask some questions as well. What was the vibe like, you know, at Ohana? Was it more of a relaxed crowd? Was it very energetic? I mean, you know, thinking back to See Her Now Festival, being that festival, it was definitely a very compact 30. I mean, there was 35,000 people there. It was very, you know, hectic at some points. What was it like, Ohana, vibe wise?
Ohana was, I mean, I think the chill factor is more about you're being on grass than being on sand. A big thing that was tough about See Her Now is all day long you're in sand. Whether you want to go to the bathroom or not, you're walking twice as far through sand back and forth versus sitting down in a nice piece of grass in a much cooler environment. It wasn't 88 and humid, it's 70s and nice. So that kind of really I think brings down the level of, like, I wouldn't say anxiety, but when you get real hot and sweaty, you're compact, people get a little agitated. Thankfully, there was really none of that. We had a couple of drunk people around us at Ohana that got handled pretty quickly. But overall, I just think it's the sand and the temperature that kind of sets the difference from what I felt.
All right. Randy, I'll let you go ahead with the next question.
Having, you know, one of the best seats in the house, and I saw where you were standing the whole See Here Now show. I had my eyes locked. I'm like, that's a good spot right there. It was kind of in between Ed and Stone, I believe, right?
Yep.
Where
Right
were
between Ed and
were you
Stone.
for this one? Same,
Pretty much
same
right
spot?
in front of Stone. This was a mess. We were like third in line, and when we ran around, because you got to hustle, there was like 11 people already lined up. So I guess they let in like the super premium people that went the ultra platinum. So like you run around the corner, you're like, all right, cool, I got an option. You're like, oh shoot, there's no option. You got to kind of figure this out really quick, because about
Right.
a quarter or a fifth, about a fifth of the rail was gone before we even got there. So
Oh, Mike.
it made it very interesting. No, dead center was gone.
Really?
So it was
Wow.
like,
Okay.
yeah, so it got interesting, but it all worked out. We got there. I mean, we had 4 of us, and we had room for 3.5. So I kind of just chilled behind the girls, and I could see. So I don't mind that stuff. I'm close enough. Let people have some fun who haven't been there, and get people as close as we can. And we had another lady walk up this time who wanted to see Shovels and Rope, I think it was. And we're like, yeah, hop up. She stood there, jammed out, and off she went. And over and See Her Now, we had a little old lady, Mary Lou. She's like 86 years old. Cruised through the whole crowd for Avid Brothers, and we looked around like, how'd you get up here? She's like, I walked up. I want to see these guys. We're like, get up here. And she's jumping up and down, jamming out, and that's, you know, that just makes you have fun. I mean, we had 2 21-year-olds next to us at the show. It was their first time at Pearl Jam ever, and they literally lost their mind the whole show, jumping, singing, having a blast. So that's what you see. You see the young people, you see the old people, you see us in between, just all having fun together.
Dave, any questions?
Absolutely.
For Nick?
That's go ahead.
So, East Coast, West Coast. Would you go to See Here Now again? Would you go to Ohana again? You know, the first time Pearl Jam has ever played both festivals. Would you do it again?
See Here Now is a little different. It's really easy for us to go to. It's like 15 minutes from Linda's place. So that's kind of like we hang out in that place all the time. Is it one like we have to go there? No, but we kind of do because it's easy. Ohana is kind of like we almost always go now just because it's a fun time. A lot of people show up. You know, it's a good show with Eddie. There's a lot of good, you know, people that show up as well. But it's hard to say. Will I go back to both? Do we want to? Absolutely. But I like to spend my time when I have vacation seeing Pearl Jam. So we kind of plan things around that, like a lot of people do. But I'd go back to either one in a heartbeat. I mean, this is our second Ohana, our second See Her Now. She went to See Her Now 3 times. So a show is a show, man. Where we got to go, we go.
I hear that one. Now, with you
let me bring this up because we haven't really talked about it at all. Sorry if I cut you off, Anthony.
No, go ahead.
Eddie's sets. Eddie did a set on Friday night that was kind of, you know, at the last minute because of Kings of Leon had to cut. And then, of course, the planned set that happened on Saturday night. Where were you for that, and what'd you think of those performances?
So we had 3 different views every night. So the first night we chilled back by the palm trees, kind of like to the back. If you're facing the stage, it's to the back right of the sound stage. That was great. Could see everything. Second night, we're kind of middle crowd. Got to see a little bit, you know, more up front, a little bit more jam-packed. But anywhere you go in that place is a great seat. That's what really makes it nice. Like, it's so spread out. You can sit way back, middle. You can sit down during the break and get back up. You know, it's very, you know, very friendly for families, which I like seeing kids there. Yeah, I didn't feel that anytime anybody felt unsafe, which is great. That's really important in a show like this. I mean, I'm conscious of that all the time because I have people around me that I'm with. So I'm always like, all right, who's behind me? Who's to my right? Who's to my left? Like, just being aware. It was really like low key, which is awesome.
Now, seeing
living
the band...
up to your good dude title.
Yeah, that's right. Now, seeing the band both times on the rail, and you saw them in Boston too, correct? In 2018, right?
Yep.
Okay. So seeing them so close these times, how do you feel the band has either progressed or regressed in the last 3 years?
Well, I mean, not seeing them for 3 years, I don't think they regressed at all. I think the break might have been good for them. I mean, Eddie seemed energized, charged. The band seemed, you know, just tight and having fun. I mean, they'll be back again. It's great. So I don't think they regressed at all. I mean, I think Gigaton was a great album they put out. I think that lyrically it's solid as any of them. You know, everyone's complaining about something. It's the world we're in, but I think overall it's a really solid lyrical album. So I don't think there's any regression at all. I mean, maybe you can't jump as high anymore, but that's okay. We can take the angles for photos and make it look good. So don't worry, Eddie, we got you.
My last question for you, and then I'll let Randy and Dave kind of get you, because I know Linda is making sure that you go take her to a good dinner before the close of the evening. How do you feel seeing Eddie, because you saw him do solo? That was his first solo show. His real first solo show in quite a long time. And now he's with a band, and he has Josh Jingleheimer Schmidt with him, and he's playing some Pearl Jam songs. And I haven't seen him with a full band play Pearl Jam songs without the guys. Yeah. Was that weird to see that?
It was, and a friend of mine, Jason from Australia, mentioned that. It's almost like you felt like he's like cheating on him. Like, well, this is weird, but it's kind of different. So is it okay that I like it? It was interesting. I mean, it's music. You know, it's just good hearing it. Whether it's the whole band, you know, even when Eddie goes by himself and he says solo, he plays songs from Pearl Jam. So having, I think, the extra backup might take a little bit off him, so he can do more of his, you know, what he likes to do on stage. He likes to get involved with the crowd. The more, you know, he's playing, the more he can't do that sometimes. So I didn't mind it. I get it, but it's just, you know, good seeing him out there. So I don't worry about that stuff too much, to be quite honest.
You know what I actually thought about when both nights they teased Better Man and they decided against it. I think the first night it was due to time, and the second night it was like, no, we got something better, and they played Precious by the Pretenders, which I thought that was a fucking highlight of maybe the whole weekend.
Purple Rain was good too.
But Oh, absolutely. But just hearing that they tease Better Man, in my eyes, it felt like he's probably thinking in that moment, no, this feels wrong. This doesn't. There's something up about this. But at least like you mentioned with Corduroy is different. They did that at the vaccination special for Global Citizens, where he played with Josh and he played with the guys from White Reaper. So you kind of knew that they were doing it a little bit differently. But to hear that live and to hear that with those musicians, especially, like, that has to be a cool experience.
Oh my God. I mean, my favorite song that they played that night was Here in Hard Sun, electric, non-acoustic. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So that to me was like, this was worth the price of admission alone right there for that night, was hearing that set up, and it just rocked.
Dave, any questions for
right.
Nick?
So you mentioned Hard Sun. Have you ever seen Eddie Soul, and how many times if you have?
Just twice. I've actually never traveled to see Eddie a lot till recently. So I saw Last Ohana. We were up front again, and Eddie played Hard Sun right in front of us at the end of the night. So, I mean, I thought that was a cool experience. But seeing him play, live with the 4 or 5 people behind him and electric, even being mid crowd, was like electric. So that was sharp. I can't wait to see that again.
So how many Pearl Jam shows you been to then? Do you know?
Not as many as most people think. Only 23.
All right.
Oh, wow. I'm 2 behind you. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I was
crazy.
a late bloomer. My early years were not spent traveling like I do now for this stuff. So I'm making up for time.
What you got to do?
Nick, I just got one more quick question because this is something that I am curious about. Olivia Vedder sings 2 nights in a row. And I think there was some question, coming into this is that really her voice? Is it, with her working in the studio, how did she sound live?
Amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, it was like, when you saw her walk out, like, all right, here this comes. Like, you heard it on the radio, you're like, all right. And then she just killed it. Like, absolutely, like, could have walked off, dropped the mics, like, see you later. I don't got to sing anymore again. It was that good.
Wow.
And watching Eddie, like, come out afterwards, like, you could just feel he was, like, so proud. And just like, that's my daughter, like, doing what I do, and probably thinking she even does it better. That's how dads are. And it just, you could see it. You could feel it. I mean, night 2, was it Harper? Right? Harper was sitting in front of us on the rail, like underneath on the other side. So there was 2 guys to our left, and then a couple of our friends to the left, and right between like all 6 of us, there were the 2 of them. And it was just like, you're like worried. Like, my one friend said, I'm a little worried to jump around because they're in front of us and you're worried. But they had a great time. They're sitting there laughing and giggling, and you could see Jill checking on them and just having a good time. Which is kind of cool to see that they're out there kind of feeling this, because watching the show from the side, as cool as that is, it's probably different from sitting where they were this time, like feeling the music, seeing the performance in a different angle, and actually feeling the crowd behind you, singing along, jumping, cheering. So I think that was kind of cool.
She's got a good stage presence too.
Yeah.
She's very comfortable up there. Olivia.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I think somebody said like all her uncles she talks to that are all his friends to help her out with music. I mean, you got Glenn right there. You have all these different people. It was awesome to see. I mean, it's really kind of like, you're proud just for her, just because you know the band and a lot about Ed, and a lot about the guys, and you see their daughter do this. It's just like, I bet you the whole band was proud just seeing that.
Well, that's awesome. First of all, safe travels with the rug. I know you have to carry that rug on the plane.
No, I don't have a rug. I didn't buy no rug.
And hey, let Dale know.
I'm a non rug club person here.
And you let Dale know, because I know you guys are staying at the same hotel. Let Dale know I said hi.
I will. I'll let him know. I'll make sure we tuck him in tonight.
All right, Nick. Thank you so much for coming on.
I got his booster seat for the plane. He's good. Love you, Dale.
How's he doing without his Jeep?
He's surviving. We got him a big wheel.
Oh my God. I love this. This is the greatest ongoing thing that I think's going on. It's great. All right. Well, listen, Nick, you enjoy. Tell Linda I send her my love, and enjoy a good dinner.
We will. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
All right. Let's get back to the other screen. He is off. And then for some reason, the first time this has ever happened, my comments hold on. A cloud plugin has raised an unexpected error. Ignore. Interesting.
Unexpected
no.
error.
Oh, let me swap that. Oh, let me get this off there. Yeah, for some reason my the comments are not showing up for some reason right now. That's all right. We'll keep rolling. Yeah, it's something going on. I'm not restarting the thing, so we're going to ignore that for now. All right, cool. I'm looking right here.
Keep going, as long as people are saying it.
Yeah, they can see it. They can see it. All right, cool. So let's go right back. And so first, that was pretty awesome to have Nick on from the beach of California. Good stuff. So where do we go? We go to opener. Dave, why don't you talk about the opener of this show and give us a little rundown on that?
All right, Retrograde, live debut. You know, there's not too many times you can get a live debut from the start out of a show. Of course, last time it happened was, See Her Now, but let's see, last time we're going to see that was October 11, 2013. You got Pendulum live debut. And yeah, it's been a while.
Wow.
It's been a while for that. And
I can give you at least 3 others that it happened to.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Casper, Wyoming for Long Road.
Yep.
And I'm gonna use Anthony's cheat too. Release from
I was gonna say that.
the off ramp.
Damn it, got me.
Beat you to it.
Son of a
Sometimes I think they played at the Showbox in September of '96. That was the surprise show, fan club show, and I want to say that one of those Showbox shows from 2002 that they did, they opened with Can't Keep
live debut. Yep.
And I don't know about the earlier stuff, but I assume that Wash and Oceans were probably debuted as openers as well.
And May 10th, 2000, Of the Girl was a live debut at Mount Baker Theater.
Yeah, of course.
Wow. Yeah,
Right?
that's a good
We
one.
already talked about that the other day. And let's see. Yep, Showbox in 1996.
That was sometimes, right?
Or sometimes. Yep.
Wow. So I mean, it's happened. It's been there. It's been done before. It's definitely been capable of been doing there. But I mean, we're getting two first two shows of this. From coming back from 3 years, you get both shows have a brand new opener. I mean that's pretty. I mean, because if you think about this, Randy, I spoke to you, and Dave, I even spoke to you when I first met you. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be Release. It's gonna be The Long Road. Like we thought for sure, and we haven't even heard those yet in 2 shows.
No.
Yeah, I wonder what the play is here, because it seems like, if anything right now, this is a trend. And originally I had thought, okay, maybe they open up every show with Dance of the Clairvoyants. It just, that song has that kind of vibe where it has its spot in the set and it makes sense. But even playing it second, it still has that same type of vibe. And Retrograde being played there, very interesting. I think there are going to be better performances of Retrograde, but getting to the end and how big that ending felt there was very, very cool for an opener. That's usually something that it reminds me of a little bit of like Unthought Known mixed with Infallible. Like, I guess the tone of Infallible a little bit, but the build of Unthought Known. And I thought that was very cool. And I'd love to see them do it as an opener again. However, now this gets me thinking about trends. And they have 4 Gigaton songs that they haven't played yet. Buckle Up, Comes Then Goes, Whoever Said, and River Cross. I have a feeling that 2 of those songs are going to be used as the next 2 openers, because it's just been the trend for these shows.
What do you think those are going to be?
Wait, hold on. We got to save that for Ohana Encore. That's got to be for the big. We can't spill our water yet. So I'm going to put a bell on this topic, and we are going to move on to Encore. And I'm going to pull up the set list again for Encore so we can look that over. Looking over the Encore with Let Me Sleep, Black, Crazy Mary, and Alive. Let Me Sleep being that kind of that song that I don't think, if you would have asked 200 Pearl Jam fans what song they thought was going to be played that night, that could have been a rare one. I don't think out of all those 200 fans, nobody would have said Let Me Sleep. Black with a great version of Black, Crazy Mary, where like Randy was saying before, you know, in the times of social distancing and keeping our space, there was no wine bottle passed down to the front row. Sorry, guys. And then Alive, which, you know, when I watched some of the live feed online, it sounded like the crowd was really into it. There was a great picture online with everyone with their fists in their fists in the air, and you know, it just, those are the moments that I live for as a Pearl Jam fan, to kind of do that with the people around us. So it looked like to be an exciting time. And based off what Nick was saying, was that the crowd was pretty awesome. So it was good stuff all the way around when I look at that. What do you have to say about that, good old Randy?
Yeah, I think it's all really good choices. Let Me Sleep is definitely something out of left field, but look, I think a lot of people there, if you're lucky enough to have gone, and I actually do know one person that is like, I'm done with Let Me Sleep, and everybody has those songs that it's like, okay, they never play this song, but like for me, it's All Night. For some reason, I've seen All Night 5 times out of the 21 shows that I've went to, and they all happen like consecutively almost, because they started playing it a lot in 2008, 2009, which is when I first started going to shows. So, but they've only played that, I believe, 26 times overall, which is just like, it's, however, it is weighted more heavily in the last like 15 years or so. But yeah, I think that, you know, that's definitely something that the crowd can put in their back pocket and be like, all right, you know, there's not a lot of collector's items here, aside from the Gigaton stuff. That's stuff I'm always looking for. It's not stuff that's necessary, but it's always good to have. And you know, it's a little tough because the live streams that were going around, it cut out before the encore. So getting Black and Crazy Mary and Alive and hearing those, you didn't get the full scope of what they were. Crazy Mary, I'm glad that Boom got a spotlight there. I think that was really important. A lot of people came out, and even I noticed this from See Here Now, that it didn't seem like Boom was on stage a whole lot. And you know, Ed didn't really do his roll call thing where he goes, you know, Stone Gossard, Mac Hammer. He didn't really do that at either show. And I'm just glad that Boom got a moment, because there were a lot of people, and people talk and people say shit, but they're like, oh, Josh is the replacement for Boom. And it's like, nah, nobody is replacing Boom Gaspar. So glad that he gets his moment. And, you know, you got to talk about Alive here, and not to, you know, not talk about Black, because, I mean, Black is unbelievable, and I wish we would have gotten it in Jersey. Sure. That's the one song that I would have probably said that's a guarantee to get. But Alive it's very cool, and you know, we're going to get to all the Almost Made It songs in a second, but you have Andrew Watt, who obviously is in the Earthlings and is very closely tied to what he's doing right now with his solo stuff, and he comes out and he takes Mike's guitar and he does the solo, and it's like an 8 or 9 minute version of Alive. They tear the house down to close that night, and almost so much so because they barely say goodbye to that crowd. You talking to people through text, they're like, I don't know if this is over. They left. I have no idea if this is over. And then after a while, because it's a festival, there's not really like a house light situation. So you don't get that feel of, okay, when the house lights go on, that's when you know to walk out. But when they saw the crew take everything down, they're like, oh, okay, it's over. So it ended a little abruptly, which I thought was a little weird. And, you know, time restraints apparently in Doheny Beach are very, very strict, and Ed wants to adhere to all of them. So, you know, because he's got this festival and he does this every single year, and whether Pearl Jam plays or not, so he wants to maintain that relationship. But, you know, I think that, but also in a way that would work for next week, because I feel like they are going to have a better sense of what they can get in with the time. And a lot of the things that you're seeing right now, they're supposed to go on at 7:50. So if they have 7:50, and some of the set times have changed to 11 o'clock to 10:45 to 10:30, like it's all over the place, but we could get like a 2.5 hour set there, and we might get our traditional encore with stuff like Yo Ledbetter, and they might finally do Watchtower.
Wow. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll talk about that here in a minute about the songs come off, but Watchtower knocked off the list twice, 2 weeks in a row, which is interesting. Shannon Majoey said, I heard the crowd even from the GA bleachers. The bleachers came alive for Given to Fly and was dedicated to BC and Better Man. Boom got to shine on Crazy Mary. Matt Behan says, Of the Earth would be cool in the encore. First of all, that's one of my favorite songs.
Of course it would.
And then Brad says he's seen Fatal 4 times, which
that's a really good one. Yeah, because I think that's only been played like 7 or 8 times.
Yeah. God, do you want to know what song I've heard them play every time they've played it, which drives me batshit insane?
What is it?
Oh, I don't know. I'll give you a hint. Jeff Ament sings it.
You've seen both the versions of Sweet Lou.
I've seen every version of Sweet Lou. and I sometimes that could be pulled from my memory. I'm not a fan of that song. So Dave, looking at the encore, what are your thoughts about that? Any crazy stats coming up on your end for that we should know about?
So Let Me Sleep. Beginning out, it's if you could consider it a Christmas song, right? So I mean, it started out in like October, December, then basically July. So Christmas in July in 2014, 2016, three times in 2016. And then they're just throwing it out there now. It's just like 2018 was in August and then now it's September. They're just putting it wherever they feel and whatever, like you said, it was for the homeless, right? So he has a feeling why he wants to play it now. It's not really just, oh, it's a Christmas song. We're going to play around then.
Definitely. So I mean, for an encore, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that the Wrigley one had the same feel to it. I think Ed said he wrote the song or had the idea of writing the song when he was living in Chicago and would be waiting for subways while in the cold. And that I think that was kind of the idea of it. So that Wrigley 2016, that was kind of a flashback to that. So I just wanted to add that in.
Okay. Well, I think that's what we're going to ring the bell on Encore and move on over to Almost Made It. I'm going to pull the set list up again. And Randy, let's talk about the songs that almost made this show.
Never Destination got the first show, missed the cut here. Like that middle section, you just don't know. That's 11 songs right there. You have, you think you have more, but you got to look at the clock and you got to say something's got to go if we got to be done at 10:30. And what would you cut after Even Flow?
Oh, that's a good question. if we could swap songs on here, right? Like if I was to keep Never Destination, what would I cut in place of that? Or State of Love and Trust and Watchtower? For me, Watchtower in Charlottesville was amazing. Like they went off on that. So for me, I would cut Crazy Mary and do Alive into Watchtower.
That's not the worst idea in the world. Yeah. I think that's they're going to do Watchtower at some point this weekend, but like going back to that main set thing, but Immortality, Given to Fly, Evolution, Better Man, you don't cut, those are like uncuttable songs unless you are going to replace them with things like State of Love and Trust and Elderly Woman, because I believe those were the audibles that came out of See Here Now.
Correct. So, I mean, but definitely good stuff. What do you think, Dave? If you had
cut it. I was going to say, cutting Watchtower and just having it end on Alive, they've only closed a show 18 times with Alive out of
that's ridiculous.
Wow.
Like so many. Like Alive is one of the most popular songs played out there. So, I mean, cutting Watchtower is a no-brainer. I don't think they would have cut anything else. Sorry to say they cut State, but I would have liked them.
They did it the last show. If something needed to go.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what were you gonna say, Anthony?
No, I was gonna say if you could cut a song and add one of those songs that were cut, what would you have done?
There's a lot of songs they haven't played yet, and they haven't played anything from several albums.
Any of the 2000s album?
Yeah.
Oh shit. You are correct.
Right, so they haven't played anything from Binaural, Riot Act, Pearl, Avocado, Backspacer, Lightning Bolt. I mean, they just threw in "Let Me Sleep," and that's the only thing from Lost Dogs. That's the only thing with Lost Dogs on there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean,
Light Years got crossed off in Jersey, and then Unthought Known was an audible.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to pick, like they've been doing, like, maybe 1-2 songs to try to get something. Although these are festivals, so they're going to be going for like the most popular songs that everybody wants to hear. But being the fans that we are, I want to get Binaural. I want to get some Riot Acts, Avocado, or Backspacer, or whatever.
Sure. Well, it's funny, Dave, because you're throwing all these stats out, right? And all these stats are coming from a great place. And that place is Live Footsteps. Let me hit the music. Take a walk down the hall. Follow those footsteps back to yesteryear, or all the way back to the off-ramp. Live Footsteps did, what they had to do to bring you a setlist archive of Pearl Jam live statistics. It's searchable, customizable, and personalized stats so you can find what you're looking for. Find that obscure songs, played count, debut, its tags, intros, rarity index, and much more. Discover set lists, song, and show stats, venue and location breakdowns, all at your fingertips. Check out livefootsteps.org to satisfy your PJ curiosity. This is the website that we use here at the Touring Fan Live to consistently look for all of our stats, because that is the only place that we trust when it comes to factual information about the band. So definitely check out livefootsteps.org, because Dave worked his ass off on that. Boom, there's the commercial.
That was slick.
That's
there.
very nice, Anthony.
That was slick.
You like that? I like that. There was a point where I'm like, shit, I can really throw this good tie-in right now.
That's right.
So now we get to our next segment, Gigaton. I am going to throw this off by saying we only have 4 songs left before the whole album's played. And it's interesting because I don't know, and Dave, you'd be the person to answer this, if we do get all of the songs played by the first show, the third show of this little tour they're doing, is that the quickest the band's ever played an entire album? Because I really think this might be it. Because even no, I take it back. The first album was played basically in 2 shows.
Yeah.
Okay. Scratch that off. Forget that. But talking back to Randy's
but it is interesting for the latter albums, though.
Yes.
Because you have like No Code and they went years without playing I'm Open, and Yield, they went years without playing a lot. Like Low Light took 4 years to play or something like that, and that's now a staple within the set list, and that's crazy. I think Binaural, it took them a little longer to play Parting Ways. Riot Act, I think you know what, there was definitely one from probably Arc that kind of found its way in the middle of that tour. I think there are some other ones that, actually, let's go back to the most recent album before Gigaton, Lightning Bolt. Getaway was one that they didn't debut until, I believe, the Charlotte show in 2013, which was one of the last of the first leg, which is very weird because I think that was the song that I said all along. That's the one I wanted to see live from the album, and that's the only one that I haven't seen live from that album. So
and it is
there's kind of a sense
good live.
It's you're right. It's not great live. It has kind of a rhythm progression issue where Stone kind of it doesn't sound exactly like his riff on the album. But I really wonder if whoever said is going to end up being the Getaway, where they're just uncertain of how to make it work. I'm not sure, but I bring that to the table here.
And it was Charlotte, October 30th, 2013, Getaway live debut. Yeah.
Wow. Brad asked this question a little while ago. I'm back to it real quick. He said for an opener, he said buckle up as an opener. What are your thoughts on that with these last 4 songs?
Yes, because it's simultaneously going to piss off half the fan base and the other half is going to love it. That seems to be
I
the
agree
song
with you,
on the
yeah.
record that divides the fan base the most. I don't know what is it about Buckle Up that people just hate. I am on the love it side right here. Love it. I love it. I think it's great. It's obviously a very much a Stone song, and it just has this very like eerie vibe to it, almost like you get kind of like a weird experimental Beatles vibe out of it. And you know, the song has it's just such a cool progression, and obviously it fits in sort of on a B side, and after you get like a lot of the electric rock and stuff, that's sort of the end cap, and going into more Comes and Goes, which is acoustic, then River Cross, which is a pump organ song. But maybe that's why people aren't into it. Maybe that's where they kind of dip out of the album a little bit, but I happen to really like it.
Dave,
All
what's
right,
the
you got-
last
you
four?
got-
What's the last four songs that haven't been played yet? We have "Buckle Up." We have
Buckle Up, Whoever Said, Comes and Goes, River Cross. And I'm going to say
River
this,
Cross
Randy,
is
you're
so
over
much.
there. You're on the like it side. I'm on the side that I don't like it. Buckle Up. Anthony, what about you?
I do like "Buckle Up."
Two against one.
Two against one.
Yes, sorry. No, to be honest with you, I really did love this entire album. And I think that if we were heard this song before we heard it on CD, I think we'd have different emotions about it. But having it grow on us over time, I think has really made me fall in love with it a little bit more and appreciate the chord progression and the difficulty that comes along with that song. But looking at this list of songs that are left, I think River Cross opens up one of the encores. I would say probably for the first show, I would say Saturday Night opens up the encore. Comes Then Goes. Man, that's a song where it's like, where does it fit in? Like, where does that song naturally fit in before and after? Like, where's the bread in that sandwich that really makes it fit well? Because that is it's a different song than most of the songs they've done before. So, hey, if you're tuning in right now, the song Comes and Goes. Where do you see that being played in a set list? Like, where do you think is the best place for that song to be played? Before and after a song, encore, opener, closer? What do you think? Buckle Up. That's another.
I just want to throw that out there with Comes and Goes real quick. You know, I don't think it's in the main set. I think it is in the encore, and I think it's just one of those because it's Ed solo, and it's a long song. They have to cut a verse of it to like it's almost a 6-minute long song, and I like the song, but that's my only criticism of it. It is just one chorus too long. And I feel like that's going to be one that people are it's going to continue going on and on. It doesn't have like any significant chord changes or anything like that kind of, you know, like just basically makes you kind of like, whoa, okay, they did something a little different. They don't have it. There's nothing in that song, and plus it's just Ed. So I think a lot of people will see that and be like, especially for arena shows, if it does get played arena shows, they'll be like, this is the piss break one. I don't like saying piss break songs, but it's the way it is. But yeah, I think you're right. That's the toughest because you kind of have to do it where the band is not on stage, where it's Ed solo for like a little bit. He either does like a solo Just Breathe and then goes into it or something like that. I think it's weird when the band plays and then leaves stage and then Ed does his solo thing. I think that's a little bit strange. So yeah, that might be the weirdest of the bunch to fit in.
So based off of some of the comments on here, Whoever Said could be a good opener. That was from Shannon. Comes and Goes starts the first encore. Sam says thinks it's the first song of an encore. Just Breathe into Comes Then Goes. Jennifer says, I love it in the middle for Comes Then Goes. And then Ryan Blackwell says, first encore. I think the lyrics are engaging enough to appreciate the simplicity. Sorry, it's a great tune. Don't be sorry. It is a great tune. Just some people just can't appreciate it. But we'll leave those people nameless.
I didn't say it. I was able to appreciate it. I'm just saying, I think that a lot of people will see kind of solo Ed, and especially in arenas, and they'll be like, you know what? I've heard the first verse. I'm good. Like, let's let's move on. And that some people is not me. I make a point not to do that stuff, but just getting the general sense of things.
All right, so Randy, you said that Buckle Up can open the show, correct?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
So I think, whoever said could open our show, it opens the album, right? So whoever said,
Yeah.
Buckle Up, River Cross, one of those three, I think, can open a show. I think River Cross, if they just put the lights down, have it dark, and have just Ed come out there with a pump organ and just start playing that, I think that's going to be like such an emotional, start to a show. And then just put the light on him and have the other guys just come on stage and just keep on going. I mean, Ed did River Cross solo before it ever became a full band song. So why not do that?
I actually thinking about it now, he did River Cross a couple times when he did a solo tour. I think one of those times he did it as an opener. And if it wasn't an opener, it might have been the second song in. We don't have an Ed database for Live Footsteps, even though
No.
it's something that's been requested, I'm sure.
It's been requested many times. It'll be eventually.
There needs to be manpower on those things.
Yeah, I know.
But I have a feeling that maybe it was at the time where he called the song Cross River that he opened one of the solo shows with it. So look, if it's going to work for a solo show, I think it absolutely could work for a Pearl Jam show. I'm in with those three opening the show. That's why I think it's so intriguing that what they're going to do this weekend, if they're going to follow suit with those debuts.
Yeah, minus 7 o'clock, which I didn't think they were ever going to play that before I saw it at See Her Now Festival. But now seeing how they're playing it and how it's kind of different, it's not really about Trump anymore. It's about kind of, it generalizes the issues in the world today. These last 4 songs, really, besides River Cross, Comes and Goes, Whoever Said, and Buckle Up. I mean, those are 3 songs that, in theory, are going to have a difficulty on being put on a set list without having to rearrange some things around it. In my opinion. And I think this could be something that we see for one tour, and these songs are going to be like, I don't think you'll see them as often when the new album comes out. These are going to be songs I think that are album songs, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, like all those Backspacer songs, like You're Gonna See My Friends and Johnny Guitars and Supersonics of the world that didn't really return after the album came out.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. So that, I think, tops off Gigaton. And we're going to go to Rare Gem. And Dave, I'm going to give you the full reign on this one for Rare Gem.
So we're starting out with a festival show. So you're going to get the highlights of all the tens, the verses, and all the early albums that everybody loves. So there wasn't a whole lot of rare songs in this. I mean, sure, we already talked about Let Me Sleep, which before this show was only 7 times before. This one was 8th. And like we said, it was, it was a Christmas kind of song. So there's only a limited amount of time you're going to be able to hear that. But they have pulled it out a few times. So 7 times before this show. Red Mosquito seems to be getting some love. Before the show was 89 times before that. And I want to hear it more. I mean, if Danny keeps on, following the band around and taking their photos, maybe we'll get it a few more times. Maybe they'll bring out the harmonica and start playing some more. I'd probably get tired of it if Danny's around every show, but and then I Got Shit, 150 times before Ohana. That's quite a bit for, some of the other songs for being rare, but for this show, it's been 19 shows since. Still, that was in 2018, but they're sticking the stuff that they've been playing the last few years. They haven't really had a whole lot of time, after COVID to get together and start, practicing. Let's do this, do that. So that's I think that's probably the longest since song since even See Here Now.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Dave. Red Mosquito. I think we talked about this a little bit in the chat when we were preparing for this, but when was the last time, because you have to go back to the Fenway show that kind of ended off the home away shows in 2018, and they did it with Danny Clinch there. But it's been played 3 shows in a row now. When was the last time that they played that 3 shows in a row?
All right, so 3 times in a row. It would have been 2019, and that was when Ben Harper was with them a lot.
2009?
Yeah, 2009. Sorry, 2009. New Zealand, Australia, California shows. They played pretty much all of those shows back to back to back. A couple in there, 5 shows between. So yeah, the 2009.
Well, so it's been a
Making
bit.
a comeback.
That's right. It's gonna bite you in the ass. Is what it's gonna do. It's gonna bite you in the ass. That was a mosquito bite joke, just in case anybody was curious on that one. It didn't go over as well as I thought
It wasn't,
it was going
but
to.
thanks.
That's all right. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I don't know. My ass is covered. I don't know about yours, but yeah.
Well, you only see this part in the video. I'm business on top and party on the bottom. But on that note, I'm going to ring the bell, and we are going to go to merch. Randy, Ohana was the king of merch. If you were a merch fan and you went to See Her Now Festival, you might have been a little disappointed in not going to Ohana.
It depends on what kind of merch you like. This was I don't think we've seen stuff like this before. The rug, and you know what? I'll give the rug a lot of credit. That was a cool rug. If I had room and money and if I was able to get my hands on that, and I might think about that. Like, that is not a bad thing to have. But the towel, why would anybody want a Pearl Jam towel? And I thought to myself when we were kind of making fun of this in one of our group chats, I was kind of saying out loud, I'm like, you know what? Their audience right now, they're all like Gen Xers who are parents and who are, reaching their mid 40s and 50s that need household items like that. And if they can get household items that say Pearl Jam on them, they're going to go right after them. So, maybe there's a market for this. Maybe there's like curtains and lampshades and I'm just looking around my house. I could use a pack and play, a Pearl Jam pack and play. That would be great for my 3-month-old. How about a Pearl Jam fridge? What would a Pearl Jam fridge look like?
Well, it's so quick story about the rug. A friend of mine was in the front of the line. They had 40 rugs total for the weekend, and I believe so. They sold, I guess, 20 a day at $350. The friend of mine that
oh wow, that's a lot.
It was $350 for the rug. It was a 5-foot rug. It was a thick. It's not a cheap rug either. It's a real thick, heavy rug. My buddy called the airline to see what it would cost to get home. He was flying back to Atlanta, and it was going to cost him another $205 because it was oversized 5-foot luggage. So he did not purchase the rug. With the towel, we've actually, if you pay attention to the 10 Club newsletter, about 6 months ago, this was a giveaway. They were giving away a towel and a mirror water bottle with the Pearl Jam logo on it, with the Heartbeat logo that going across it. And this was a surprise to many because it showed up not in the beginning of Saturday, but later on in the day. Sunday, the last day. It showed up. And I will tell you this. So I am a man of merch. I have buyer's remorse on everything, and I've done it ever since the Pearl Jam 20 backpack that I've been allured to getting, and it's been driving me nuts for forever. So what I do is every time I go to a show, the first show of the tour, I put the credit card down, and I say one of everything. I did it this last show. I always do it. So the last show, if you were to buy everything at See Her Now Festival, it rang just a little over $600 to get every single thing there in my size. If I was to buy one of everything at Ohana, including Eddie's stuff, because I would have done Eddie's stuff, Pearl Jam stuff, including the rug and towel and everything that was there, it would have reached $1,241 to purchase one of everything at that festival. And my wife told me that if I would have done that the door would have been locked on the way home. So maybe I'm glad I didn't go to Ohana.
Wow.
Yeah, that's but like you're buying one of everything, but you're not taking into account that a lot of the merch from shows were the same. Like they had the same rat, I believe, the same
Correct,
rat
yes.
one. They had
Yeah.
the same hoodie. The hoodie that I got had
Right here.
like the dragon head. Yeah, that's the one. And it says "See Here Now" and Ohana on the back of it. So there are a couple of things. It could probably knock you down to like 800-900 maybe.
If you remove just 2 hoodies and 2 t-shirts, that's 65. It's 120. It brings it down like $1,100.
So I didn't see the towel. What was the towel?
So the
Like-
towel is made by this company. It's this new company that uses like plastics from the oceans to recycle to make towels, and it's basically the Northern Lights, long ways, and then on the bottom it has Pearl Jam in it. It's actually, I would have bought it, but I do buy everything. I would have bought that over the rug. I don't think I would have bought the rug because I know that
Like,
would have I would have gotten divorced.
I would have thought that if it was like a beach towel or something like that, would it make sense? Because we're at the beach at both shows.
It is a
maybe
beach
that
towel.
would have made more sense.
Yeah.
I mean, we had board shorts and stuff like that. So I mean, I
Board shorts are weird.
I was almost gonna get them, but I didn't. So I was like,
Dude.
because everybody was saying that it was like a small, medium, large, but there's no like whatever.
It worked out nice for me. So like I'm losing weight right now, so I knew I was gonna get. So I bought a 40. They were a little snug, but I had my fanny pack covering up like that area from like where the stomach kind of overlays to like this. So my fanny pack did a really good job of like kind of like transitioning the overweight Anthony to those board shorts. But from the side with the fanny pack, I thought I rocked them really well. So I did enjoy the board shorts real well.
I did hear they're a little short. How was that on for you?
I like my short. I like a breeze. It was fun. I bought the board shorts on Saturday morning, and I had regular like thicker shorts on. It was ridiculously hot out. I went back to the house and I changed, and they are comfortable. They do run about a size small. So like I bought a 40, they were more of a 38. So that's how they consistently, and that's what everyone said, they ran a size small. So they're probably maybe overseas or something like that, where they're just the consistency isn't as necessity. So probably made in a factory. But that is it on the towel. The posters were great. I enjoyed the posters. As a big fan of a huge Black Flag fan, like I love the fact that they were able to pull that shit off, because I mean the fact that they got the original artist from all the Black Flag covers to like do these waves was beautiful. And I thought the
Sonic Youth too.
Oh God, oh yeah. I mean, damn. I mean, he's a legend. I mean, Mr. T-shirt was like drooling over the fact that they were able to even pull this shit off. What's really cool though is the Volkswagen bus one was beautiful. Like that is a beautiful piece. Really cool. I really liked all 3 posters, and the poster they leaked today, not leaked but showed today. Ian Williams poster for this weekend is really nice as well.
Yeah, I really like that. I think that one's going to be a keeper from this.
What's interesting about posters though, Randy, and I don't know if you know this, and you might, is that there's this podcast called Live on 4 Legs, and they showcase the poster on those shows. And if you've never heard the show, let me tell you about it. Live music is special, almost supernatural force that elicits positive vibes and always leaves you begging for more. When you have a band like Pearl Jam that's created a plethora of amazing moments on stage throughout their history, their stories that remain deserve to be relived. Live on 4 Legs is a Pearl Jam podcast that features extensive storytelling and setlist discussions from shows throughout every era of the band. Each episode is a full breakdown of a different show, capturing the moments that make each show memory worth revisiting. Subscribe to the pod on any podcast platform, and check out the Conceppedia over at liveon4legs.com or for more Pearl Jam Live related content.
I'll rewrite the end for you.
It was a mouthful. I got there, but it's good. It's good stuff and music. So, and you just dropped a podcast recently too, haven't you?
We're always dropping podcasts.
Drop 'em like it's hot.
I don't know if this is the time to promote it, but tomorrow is actually a pretty famous date in Pearl Jam's history. It's going to be the 25th anniversary of a very famous Randall's Island show from the 1996 tour, and that's what our episode's going to be on tomorrow. And it's a 2-hour long show. That means it's going to be good. There's going to be a lot of details. There's a lot of things that happened. So definitely, if you were at the show, a lot of people that I know that was their first show that they ever went to, kind of kicking off their obsession with Pearl Jam. So yeah, like that one might send you down memory lane.
Well, it's definitely a good one. It's always good to listen in and tune in to hear the breakdown, especially some of the guests you bring in that relive the moments. It is a really good listen. So if you definitely are driving or listening or cleaning the house or just put them headphones on, this is absolutely... oh, fuck you, Fred. Oh, my God, I couldn't help if you just texted me that. Sorry, I just got a text message come across the screen from somebody that, like, God. Anyway. I lost my train of thought.
Now we gotta know.
No, not especially. No. Even after I was told I couldn't wear a certain shirt tonight. Anyway, so we're gonna move on. Moving on to the next episode.
Oh, okay. I see where you're coming from. All the merch, right?
Yes, all the merch. Moving on, Ohana Encore. Let's make some bold predictions for this weekend. I'm gonna start off with you, Dave. What do you think maybe we're gonna see this weekend we haven't seen at some of the other shows?
All right, so I already mentioned that all these different songs from Binaural, Riot Act, the Avocado, Backspacer, Lightning Bolt. They haven't played anything from any of those, and there's quite a few from 10 they haven't played yet. I mean, I think we're gonna get Oceans, which both shows already. I'm surprised they haven't played that yet. Probably some Jeremy. Release. I don't know if they're gonna do 3-4 songs again from the album back to back to start the show. I think they might start out with Dance of Clairvoyance and then maybe go into Release. They do that a lot. They play a song and then go into Release. Yeah, there's a bunch of different songs out there that haven't been played yet. I'd like to see them maybe not end it because this is a festival show, but maybe towards the end, maybe a little Indifference. I think that would be a nice addition there. And I'm surprised. I mean, I know it was just the last album, but Lightning Bolt, they haven't played anything from Lightning Bolt. I mean, they were in love with that album, and like songs were played almost every single show. Like Mind Your Manners. Maybe they'll bring back one of the. They're trying to hit everything. I think they're going to hit a couple Lightning Bolt songs in the next 2 shows coming up.
All right, Randy, what's your bold predictions for this upcoming Ohana Encore?
Dave kind of hit it on the head there. Like, there's just a lot of good, juicy stuff that they haven't played yet, and although these are festival shows, these are like this to me feels like Pearl Jam 20, that they're inviting friends along with them to open for them for their festival. Like, this is their thing. So I would say that 95% of the crowd is going specifically for Pearl Jam. So if you want to add in those mid albums from the 2000s, if you want to add stuff in from that, if you want to add songs that don't get played a lot, I think these are the shows to do it out of the 4, especially. But there are some songs, there are other ones that are just extremely common that they haven't been playing that I'm thinking about. And it's probably because they've chosen to play more of the mid-tempo stuff, and it might be hard. And the one I'm thinking about is Go. And it might be hard to bring back a song like Go and to find a medium, like a middle ground with it where they could still play it and still sounds good, but not overdo it like they haven't been doing. Like with Even Flow, it's been a little bit more paced out. Corduroy been a little bit more paced out, but Go is a really tough one, because they love to play it, and and Why Go too. Why Go's another one, a staple of the set, and it's just nowhere. And like with all the Gigaton songs happening in the beginning of the set, where Why Go usually just where's the room for it? So I think that a couple of those, and I think you will get one of those middle 2000s kind of songs. Maybe not like an ultra rare one, maybe not like Green Disease or anything like that off Riot Acts, but I can see I Am Mine. I can see Love Boat Captain. I can see Save You coming out there. Save You's even another one that might fit in the category of Go, where it's just too fast for what they're trying to accomplish right now. And maybe they work on that for whenever they decide to fulfill the arena tours. But I think that they will hit on some stuff that people are really looking for. That Light Years that's sticking at me here. That was in the See Here Now set. Like, I think they'll get to Light Years. I think they'll get to something like an Unthought Known. But also, I think you can expect songs like Better Man and Corduroy to be played both nights of this. But if I were to give you a bold prediction, I'm gonna just throw one out there. I'm just gonna like spin a wheel of songs that something that they haven't played in a long time, or something that almost never gets played. I'm gonna say Around the Bend gets played.
Okay.
Throw it out there. I think they need to fulfill the encores with stuff like that. And I think that's just going to be one where they know that people are going and probably haven't seen it before. And they're probably No Code fans chasing No Code songs. I think they throw it in.
Okay. So here is my bold prediction. I think it's Friday, Saturday, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Friday night, we're going to get almost an eerily similar set list as we did from See Her Now Festival and Ohana this past weekend, except a few more songs. And I think those are going to be where you're going to see your Jeremy's, your Elderly One Behind a Small Account. You're going to see a lot more of those songs come through. I think it's going to be a great show. I think it's going to be very predictable. I don't think we're going to see a lot of rarities. I think Saturday's show is going to be the show where we're not sure when the next time we're going to see them. I think there's still some uncertainty there. I think this is, as much as it's not a Pearl Jam 30 per se, like they, with what they wanted to do for Pearl Jam 30 and not happening, I think this is their kind of celebration as a band. And I think that we're going to see a very unique and kind of weird set list on Saturday that a lot of people are going to be jealous that they didn't go see. I do think we're going to see some returns of songs that maybe we haven't heard in a long time. I think that the band's just going to have a lot of fun with it. Maybe they'll play fucking Binaural front to back. Who the hell knows? But it's going to be interesting on Saturday. And I think Saturday is a show where people are just going to have to really buckle up and sit back and enjoy it, because I think it's going to be a hot one.
The weekend with every Gigaton song fulfilled.
Oh, yeah.
Comes and Goes seems to be the outlier.
Yeah, man. I don't think Comes and Goes is going to, but I didn't think they were going to play 7 o'clock either. And then it's been played,
that might be their best live song.
It really, oh God, it's amazing.
Yeah, I love it live. You never really know until they get up there on stage if you're going to love it live,
Which I'll bring up right now. All Right was amazing. It was probably in my bottom half of the ones that I liked off the album. And I know how they're going to play it live. A lot of people said, oh, it would be an opener. And I'm like, it's too easy for an opener. Like, it needs some grind to it. It needs some build. It really needs something to make it stand out, to make it fit. And what they did to it, and they kind of put that edge to it. I really, really enjoyed it. So I hope the next time I see it that they end up playing it.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the wrap. And we're going to start off with Dave. Anything you want to promote or say before we close this thing up?
Going to be following the next 2 shows, updating live, set lists, stats, everything. Last show, talking about set list maker, still working on that. I've been working on that for quite a while. I know Pearl Jam beat me to the punch on that, but that'll be coming up soon. yeah, just keep reach out to me. Tell me guys what you guys want. Let me know. I'm always looking to find new stats. New things to find, and then provide to you guys. That's what I'm looking to do. Give you guys the information and the stats. Off to you, Randy.
I mentioned Randall's Island. It's coming out tomorrow morning, and that's going to be a really good listen if you want to tune into that. And we will have Patrick Vogel, who I'm sure a lot of you know is one of our listeners' friends that always comes on the show and always talks about stuff. And he's going to pop in and talk about some of the big moments from that. But what I want to really sell you guys on here, push a little bit, is the Concertpedia, and that today we actually put out our Ohana review from the last show this weekend, and we're thankful that we have Ohana and See Here Now. We've been able to get it out right away. We plan to do that with the encore shows, so probably on Monday or Tuesday of next week you can expect to see either one or the other. Maybe we'll do one day and then the other the next, but instant reviews, instant reaction. We want your guys' comments, what you think of the show. Just leave comments on these pages. It will help the traffic. That's going to help, and any of the pages, honestly. And one of the other things for liveonfourlegs.com that I'm actually going to break this news right now without anybody's permission. I'm just going to do it because it's my baby too. But we've had the years 2018, 2016, and 2015 all fulfilled, which means obviously the next one in the progression would have to be 2014. We are going to do that for the month of October, and what we're going to do is actually on Friday is the anniversary of the opener of that tour from 2014, which happened in Cincinnati, October 1st. Every day that there is an anniversary, we will be releasing the Concertpedia page for that show. So October 1st, the Cincinnati one will come out. October 3rd, the St. Louis one. October 5th, and on and on and on. You'll get Moline, you'll get Milwaukee, you'll get all those really good ones in there. So, it's more stuff to look forward to, so stay tuned. And yes, we will have more prediction articles for Ohana Encore later this week as well.
I think I'm gonna have to restart the song again, Randy, because it's one of those things. It's just it's all good. It's all good. I know for us,
I like to talk.
It's all good. I like talking too. So this works out great. And Dave's like the great stat fill. I like this whole progression of his knowledge, and it's been amazing. We'll figure out a date for the next one where we'll break down both Ohana shows from this weekend, and where the show goes from here. I have no idea. So we'll figure that out. I enjoy working with Dave and Randy, so thank you guys so much for doing this. On the Touring Fan Live side of things, tomorrow night, Let's Talk Vinyl returns with Trey and myself, where we're going to be talking about two great songs, Smile and Faithful, while drinking a bottle of Spellbinder, which I realized today on my keto diet that I started 3 days ago that I should not be drinking wine because there is carbs in it. So that is a little disappointing to me, but it is what it is. So that's tomorrow at 9 p.m. here on the Touring Fan Live. On Thursday, X Gets a Square returns from its month-long break, where Bailey Race and I will be talking to poster artist Dave Clock, who is known for his work. He's done this recently with Foo Fighters, Primus, Billy Strings, God, you name him, he's worked with them. We're going to be talking pop culture and everything. That's this Thursday at 8 p.m. That show is an off-the-wall good time. And then next month, on the 10th of October, Brad Lang is going to be coming on to Hitchhiker Stories from Road. We'll be listening to him talk about his Pearl Jam stories, his concert stories, and everything that makes him a true touring fan. And so on and so forth. I got a lot of shows lined up and big things coming up. And on other news, if you've been following along with Touring Fan Live, as we have been auctioning off ukuleles for the Project Matters, we have our last round of ukuleles going up for auction starting next week on this weekend, October 3rd. So keep an eye out for that. But until next time, I want to say thank you to Dave and Randy for coming on and chatting this show up tonight. And until next time, thanks for tuning in to Destined to Remember.